Ec54a, Catching Up. Soul to Soul Talk. Catching Up. Part A. Life Guiding Conversations with Morai Amoro and Jenai Summer. Let's talk about catching up, Jenai, spoke Morai Amoro. You mean catching up because we didn't see each other for some time? Or did you see me this afternoon that I was catching up on cleaning my room and doing my homework? Yes, Jenai, all of that and much more about catching up. You see, Jenai, the thoughts that you needed to clean your room were already there for some time. But even when you would have acted straight after these thoughts, your body had to catch up on those thoughts, isn't it? Yes, Morai, but isn't that mostly the case, that the body and the action follow after most thoughts? You are correct. But before I go into the facts why this happens that way, what about general life skills or your dancing and Aikido moves? Those skills that are now part of my life, and these dancing and Aikido moves were repeated over and over and trained, so I don't have to think about them anymore. So, at one point in time in the past, they were instructions, visualizations, and thoughts, and then the body needed to catch up. You're right with that, Morai, and now tell me more in detail about why the body and actions are always later than the thought or thoughts. The capacity of thinking and visualizing takes place inside the mind, which is created or built with a very thin material substance called ether. And the body that performs the action is made from 4 more dense material substances, of which earth is the heaviest. Just because of this, the body and the action always come after, or has to catch up, so to speak. Some thoughts and visualizations need little time for the body and action to catch up, like just thinking to stand up and to go and get a glass of water. But thinking and visualizing a vacation, or even studying for a profession, takes much longer. That all makes sense, Morai, but where are you going with this? I am curious. Okay, Jenai, let's go into it a little more deeper. Imagine you have the thought and visualization that you like to improve your eating habits. I always think that this is easy, but it isn't. And even comparing it with studying or practicing dance and Aikido, it is much more difficult. Why? Because habits about eating a certain way were already conditioned and trained, and we fall easily back into the old ways, and the new way for the body and action doesn't take place. They don't catch up or have a very difficult time to do so. I can see that now, but it's very frustrating, Morai, at times. When you really want to change things, you must do your very best and keep on trying and practicing, but doing this without any expectation. Otherwise, we set ourselves up for more frustration. I get it, Morai, but I see some people doing their utmost, like a friend of mine wanting to lose weight, and her mother, who is not well, and nothing is changing. There are always changes taking place, for there cannot be two moments in life the same. But that expectation of losing weight or getting rid of an illness in our eyes may not take place, as the body is not able to catch up. Why not? Because it works for others. Jenai, don't forget that we all have an individual, unique life adventure and cannot compare it with others. And maybe those changes we expect are not meant to happen. We all come into this life with our script and book, so to speak, and although all is already written, we must still do our very best in order to not have any excuses, but leave the outcome without any expectations. Now back to catching up. So at times, and with certain thoughts and visualizations, we must find peace that the body and actions cannot catch up, and in addition, not to our expectations. That is not easy, Morai. I know, Jenai. But when we do our very best and leave it by that, we don't have to fall into the victim business. Why me? Why not? And for what reasons? There is so much history within all of us of what we bring into this life or book, so to speak. When we believe in reincarnation, it is very obvious that we came to reap what we did sow in the past. But even without believing this, what about the inheritance of all our forefathers back to where it all started? What about the genetical inheritance? And this all together with all this memory of actions and reactions stored within the mind, but also within each cell inside the body. Or go even to another level of accepting that God, or who we call Kandu the Creator, wrote our individual books. Anyway, it boils down to the same. We need to do our best and without expectations and accept our book, or we are instantly victims. Now back to catching up again. Also realize that before the body and our actions catch up or not, that there is something else that may or may not catch up. And what is that, Morai? Simple, Jenai. It is our conditioned, limited and self-created mind and mind patterns. Remember, it is our self-created world of me and mine, and all the familiar things that are trained and conditioned through endless repetitions from the time we were born, and to what and which we were exposed to, family, socially, cultural, and religiously. Most likely even conditioned, genetically inherited conditionings and endless patterns we picked up on while being inside the womb of our mothers. Now back to you, Jenai, and catching up on cleaning and your homework, or saying to yourself, I am never going to say, eat and do that again, which seldom works out. The mind always finds excuses, and we are not even ending up in the position that the body and our actions could catch up. Yes, Morai, I'm familiar with these thoughts and promises, and especially the New Year's resolutions. But why? Creatures of habit, so to speak, Jenai. And we give the mind the power to keep us back, by us holding on to the familiar. And we tell ourselves that it is too difficult or too complicated, and so we always find excuses and fall back. Basically, we are not even catching up with the thoughts within our own mind. The training of new patterns and habits need to be repeated. Repeated until the old conditionings go in the background. But they will never disappear and could jump out any second. On this level of consciousness, there is no delete button in the mind computer. Wow, Morai, I see now what I'm up against and understand that it is so hard to catch up within my own thought patterns, and then my body and actions still have to catch up. However, Jenai, you know now where you're up against and what needs to be done, but doing that without any expectation. Thank you, Morai. You are most welcome, Jenai. And the next time we continue on the same topic, but we're going to go one layer deeper into the matter. Okay.